the video, man.
Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to No Revving. Today, during the social distancing version of No Revving Car Project, we're going to be working on my 1996 Dodge Viper GTS. It needed to get rotors replaced, fronts and backs, and went ahead and said, all right, let's do all new brake pads. All right, first thing you want to do whenever you're doing a brake job is come in, open the hood, find your brake fluid, and take the cap off. Step one for taking out your brakes is you want to punch the pins out. Do a little chiseling, you're going to get those pins to come out the back. Then you're going to get a size 18 millimeter for a GTS anyways, for bolt number 1 back here, and then a 15 millimeter on the second bolt. That's going to allow your caliper to come all the way off. Once you've done that, you can now successfully start getting the old pads out and work to get it all synced back in. On a GTS up front, you can just push it back. No special tool required. You don't really need a C-clamp or anything. It was pretty easy to just use your thumbs and sink those back in. Clean up everything really well. Get the brake cleaner on all the pins and all the areas, and then lube everything up real well. That was the problem with the car. I kept hearing a bunch of squeaking and something else. It kind of sounded like metal on metal. So we're going to have to check the backs when they come off, because I think that might have been the one that was super bad. Once it's all lubed back up, put those in, put the pin back in, caliper back on, 2 bolts back on, brake job done. Now we're also replacing the rotors on here, so that just means sliding that off, putting the new one on before you do that stuff. So pretty easy brake job. Patrick knocked the front driver's side out in what, like 15 minutes, if that. So that's how you do it.
Get it more on the inside, you just can't tell. But there's literally no pad.
Wow, that was the problem.
It's literally on the back plate.
Let's go. So get to the rack. Alright, so for the rears, it's a little bit easier than the fronts. You're going to have 1 bolt back here that you're going to want to take out to give you a little bit of give and room. Once that's taken out, that's to be a size 15 millimeter. Once that's out, you're ready to just do the pin. So get your trusty pin pushing tool, whatever you're going to use, a hammer. Knock the pin out. You're going to have then the clip, the retaining clip pieces for the spring piece. Take that piece out. You're now able to wiggle the old pads. We're going to take the rotor off, put the new rotor on. Before we do that though, you're going to have to use that tool. I guess we left it on the other side. Let me grab it. So Dodge makes a tool specifically for a Viper GTS. It has the 2 pins in there that you're going to have to use. You go in a clockwise fashion with a 7/18 deep socket, and then you're going to be able to get that guy to go back in clockwise, getting it to go all the way. You can usually use the C-clamp on most cars to get that to push back in, but this one has to be turned back in. If you do not have that particular tool, it comes pain in the ass. So with that tool, it makes it super easy. Once those are in all the way, we can get new caliper pads onto the caliper, and you'll never have to remove the caliper on the back like you did on the front. So that should make it easier to be able to get in and out. Once you understand, just push the pin, get the clip, take old pads out, push it back down with the actual tool. Then we can replace rotor, get the back pad on first. That's going to be important. Put the new back pad on, get the rotor put in place, then you're going to be able to slide the front. Get your new pin pushed back through the spring clip. Make sure you go through those loops, and you're done for the rears. Lead cap on.
Oh, it's
I got it down to about where max is supposed to be.
Okay, alright.
So, we've got all 4 brakes done, new rotors, new pads, inside out for everything. Cap back onto brake fluid, getting the hood down. This is the fun part about a GTS. Gotta get yourself worked in. Gotta go down here and get the clip. There it is. One final push. So we're ready to start it up, pump the brakes several times, see what we do about that, and then we're gonna take it out for first round of break-in. Patrick read up that you're supposed to get up to about 40 mile an hour, give it a good hard brake, but progressively get harder over 5 times and give it a minute in between each time. So I'll go up to 40 mile an hour, brake, rest a minute, 40 mile an hour, brake a little harder, rest a minute, and do that 3 more times. On the last couple, braking real hard from 40 mile an hour should set it in.
Yeah, this is for the EBC red stuff, right?
That was the EBC red break-in period, but it says that you need to do, or procedures you need to do for their particular pads.
Firm again? Firm? Okay, you're good then.
So, after we went and got some food, we were able to do the set-in procedures on the brakes. So 5 times for 40 mile an hour, progressively getting harder and harder on the brakes. On the last few, I might have locked up the brakes. Got some white smoke from the tires on it, but it feels real good. Everything feels responsive. Brakes are pretty good, so it's good to be back on the road finally. I think she's been down for about 4 months. I've been waiting on A, being able to buy everything needed to be able to do it as extra expenses kept coming up. And then B, just being able to get the time since the Rona locked everything down. So I was glad the guys came through this weekend and we were able to get it all set back up. So that's it for this edition of the social distancing, no revving out.
Yep.
A little too hard those last 2 times and it locked up, but you know, I think they're going to set it just fine.